The family of a man shot and killed by a Texas police officer during a mental health check is calling for the officer's arrest. Doorbell camera video shows what happened Sunday before Officer Ronaldo Contreras shot Patrick Warren Sr., who was unarmed. Officer Contreras is now on administrative leave pending an investigation. Warren's son says his family had called for help because Warren was having a mental health emergency. Omar Villafranca has more. Omar, good morning.
Good morning. The video, which was released by the family attorney and looks to be edited, does not show the final shots being fired, and that's why the family wants the body cam footage from the police officer released. Now, keep in mind, before this incident, the day before, they called and they got a mental health professional to show up. No problem. But when they called on Sunday, a Killeen police officer arrived instead. Ring doorbell footage shows Officer Ronaldo Contreras knocking on Patrick Warren Sr.'s door. A surprise to his family, who had requested help from a mental health professional.
They never told us that one wasn't available. They just sent out a Killeen police officer.
Patrick Warren Jr. says Officer Contreras' demeanor towards his family was hostile, so the family asked him to leave. But moments later, he returned and knocked. Warren Sr. answered and stepped outside with his hands in the air. His son says he noticed a red dot shining on the door.
The only reason we got up and walked to the door is because we saw an infrared beam from a taser on the door, which concerned us. We heard a pop. We got up, we ran to the door. By the time we made it outside, my father was on the ground, and that's where everything kind of took place.
The video then cuts to cell phone footage.
Hey, Dad, sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Please.
The family stood and watched as Officer Contreras, a 5-year vet at the department, shot the husband and father of 3 in the chest. Warren was pronounced dead at the hospital.
How quick was all that?
Maybe 20 seconds.
Lee Merritt represents Warren's family.
If they didn't have a mental health professional readily available to go see Mr. Warren, should they have not sent that officer in your mind?
No, if they couldn't send someone with the training to deal with the crisis that was actually occurring, then it would have been better for them to send no one at all.
And Mr. Warren may be alive.
That's right.
Warren Jr. says his family is still processing their father's death, including his younger brother, who has Down syndrome.
He was like, my father's in heaven, and I have to answer that question 1,000 times a day. And sometimes he just breaks down and he just wants to cry.
The Killeen Police Department has handed the investigation over to the Texas Rangers. There's no word on if or when that police body cam footage will be released. Tony?
Omar, thank you very much.
And that's what they keep talking about, the need for the proper training. You see what happened the day before when they sent a mental health professional. It worked out all right.
Yeah. Well, I admire Patrick Warren Jr.'s calm demeanor in this. I would be just outraged. I'm sure he is as well. But
and
it's so important that they are putting all of this out there and sharing it, because this should not have happened.
No, mental health is health. If you were having a different medical emergency, they would have sent a specialist. They wouldn't have said, we don't have anybody, sorry, fix your own leg.
Yeah.
But because it's the mind, they treat it differently.
And also, can we point out, he clearly appeared to be unarmed.
Yeah.
He clearly was unarmed.
No, I mean, why did the officer go back to the house after they asked him to leave?
After they asked him to leave.